After completing their investigation, Calgary Police Service Homicide Unit detectives can now confirm the deaths of 2 people inside a Temple apartment was the cause of murder-suicide. The deceased were discovered on Wednesday, October 31st, 2012, inside an apartment in the 200 block of Temple Green Drive, Northeast. Emergency crews have been called to the address to check on the welfare of a couple who had not been seen for several days. The female has been identified as Amiben Prajapati, 27, and the male has been identified as Hiren Prajapati, 32, both of Calgary. The manner of death for Amiben has been deemed homicide. The manner of death for Amiben has been deemed homicide. She died as a result of a stabbing. The manner of death for Hiren has been determined to be suicide. He died as a result of asphyxiation. Based on the suspected time of death, Amiben Prajapati is Calgary's 15th homicide of the year. Calgary has had 16 homicides in 2012. Prior to being called to the home on October 31st, 2012, the CPS had no prior contact with the couple. And I'll take the questions.
Were they married then?
Yes, they were married, and they had been married for approximately 7 years. We believe that it was an arranged marriage.
How long have they been here for?
I'm not sure as the time in Calgary. I believe they were in Ontario for a period of time as well.
Can you, was there anything, did they leave anything behind to, kind of allow you to understand what led to this?
I'm sorry?
Did they leave anything, like a note, a letter, or did anybody know as to what led to this?
There was no note left behind. I can tell you that we did recover a weapon inside the residence, and that the delay in the determination of the cause of death for the victim was because we had to conduct an analysis of the forensic examination of the scene, and also further consult with the medical examiner's office post-autopsy.
So you have no kind of indication if there was domestic violence or what led to this?
There was no indication of domestic violence. In fact, speaking with friends of the victim, they indicated that they were a very happy couple.
So had they had any recent thing happen to trigger this that you knew of?
There was no recent history. No involvement with the police, and he wasn't known to the police as well.
Anything dramatic in their lives, like a loss of job or anything that had happened to their lives?
Not that we are aware of. Again, speaking with friends of the victims, they were quite shocked at this because they felt that they were a very happy couple.
Is this hard for homicide to deal with this when you kind of can't figure out what led to this?
Well, all these investigations are complex, and we have to ensure that before we make a determination on the cause of death, again, we do a complete forensic analysis and examination of the scene, and speak to any witnesses that are available, and also consult with the ME's office to get their determination.
But does it normally help investigators to be able to wrap your head around why?
It does, and all these investigations are complex. Again, we do the forensic examination of the scene, we speak to witnesses, and we await the results of the medical examiner's findings in the autopsy.
So sometimes you just don't get the why?
Sometimes we don't get the why.
Was it a concern that possibly it was a double suicide where she had stabbed herself? Is that something you had looked at?
We kept an open mind from the beginning of the investigation, and those are one of the things we did look at, and that's why we had to make sure that we had all the facts before we made our determination.
How did you rule out that it wasn't a double suicide? Are there defensive wounds on her?
I'm sorry?
How did you rule out that it wasn't a double suicide? Were there defensive wounds on her or signs of struggle?
I can't go into details in regards to the nature of the injuries other than to say that she was stabbed. However, we had to ensure that we did a complete analysis of the forensic examination results, and then based on the findings of the ME's office, we were able to make our determination.
Was there indications that she fought for her life?
I can't comment on that.
You said that the
police haven't had any prior dealings with this couple. Have EMS or support agencies had a dealing with them prior to this?
There's an indication that EMS had been involved with the family on a prior occasion.
How long before?
I don't have that information. Okay.
Do you know the nature of that call?
I can't go into those details.
But while EMS has had contact, you don't believe there had been any kind of domestic issues?
No, we don't believe there were any domestic issues in the past.
Were they kind of religious couple, like maybe to the extent that they wouldn't go looking for help from police or from social services?
I don't have that information.
Do you know if there's any history of mental health issues?
Even in death, there are certain privacy rights in regards to both the victim and her husband. I can't comment on that.
Do you guys want to give a timeline?
Yeah, could you go through the timeline? When they were last seen?
So we believe that the victim was deceased sometime between the evening of October 28th and the morning of October 29th. This is based on our forensic examination of the scene and interviews with witnesses. We also determined, as a result of our investigation, that her husband left the residence and checked into a motel in Medicine Hat on October 29th, and then he was involved in a traffic stop on October 30th in Saskatchewan. He then returned to the residence and was found deceased on October 31st.
What was the nature of the traffic stop?
It was just a routine traffic stop. A ticket was issued.
So at first it looked like he killed her and was trying to leave? Is that what it would appear?
I can't speculate as to his reasons for being there, but he did leave the residence. And we suspect that that was after the victim's death.
And then he returned when, sorry?
He returned, he was found deceased on October 31st. And sometime prior to him being discovered in the residence, and the traffic stop was conducted on October 30th at approximately 10:30 a.m.
Where was the traffic stop in Saskatchewan?
It was in Saskatchewan.
Just over the border, or?
Yeah, around Swiftburg, Saskatchewan.
Do you know where he was doing there? Did he visit anyone? Do you know anyone?
There was no indication he visited anybody, and as to his reason for being there, I can't speculate.
And so when were they last seen as a couple?
She was last contacted by friends on October 28th.
October
28th.
She
We
was-
believe that her death occurred sometime during the evening hours of October 28th or the morning hours of October 29th.
Did they recently go on a trip together or something like that?
I don't have that information.
How long did they live at that place for, do you know?
I'm not sure.
But do you know how long they've been in Calgary for?
They've been in Calgary for several years. As to the length, I can find that out for you.